Howdy, it's Nathan with the Shop Warrior channel. Today I'm going to show you how to install one of these guys. So it kind of goes by different names, but it's got a solenoid here, it's got an air filter in here, part of that Evap system. So before we get to the install, a couple of things I wanted to talk about. If you've already ordered this and you're just ready to go, feel free to skip ahead. But I wanted to say that I've got a couple more videos that might be helpful for you, because I have replaced all the components of this Evap system, including this guy, which goes on the engine. I've got a video showing how to do that, and I've got a video showing how to install the vapor canister. Try to get it to focus there. So I have a video just talking through all the different components, all three of these, how they work together, and how to troubleshoot the system, and how all the lines interact with the fuel pump and tank, and where they're located and all that. So as I was trying to figure out this issue, I just didn't find a good resource that told me how the whole system works. So I've got a video for that. Another thing I wanted to mention too, and if I was starting over in this process, so I've actually replaced all the three major pieces of the Evap system, and I've cleaned out the lines. But if I was starting over, I would probably start with checking those lines for carbon bits of carbon that come out of that carbon canister. There's like a filter piece that holds all the carbon bits in that canister. It erodes over time, and those little bits get in the lines, clog up the system. At least that's what happened for me. So let me see if one of them fell in here, and if you can see this little bit of carbon, this little guy, this is what gets clogged in your lines. So a couple things, again, if I was starting over and troubleshooting the system, I would check to see if those bits are in the lines. The way you can do that, one place that I found little bits of carbon was in this. So if you pull this hose off and you look inside, mine was just packed full of those little bits. This sits on top of the engine, so if you have little bits in there, then that means you have bits potentially in the lines from the engine all the way back to the back of the car where the vapor canister is. And if you see bits in the lines, that means you need to replace the vapor canister and you need to clean out your lines, which unfortunately means you need to drop your tank, the fuel tank, and clean them out. That's the only way to do it, because you have to disconnect it from the fuel pump to blow them out. And I'm sorry for all the noise in the background. I think there's a team of people mowing the lawns out today. The second thing you'll want to check, besides this one at the engine, is you can pull off, let me pull this out. So the vapor canister here, if you pull off one of the lines, probably one of the bigger ones, let me zoom out here, one of these guys, you pull off the line and the carbon bits fall on your face like they did for me, wear glasses, that will tell you if there are bits all in the lines and the carbon canister needs to be replaced. That's probably the first place I would look, is the carbon canister and stuff in the lines. And then next I would check, this little solenoid on the engine, and the subject of this video, this guy. Another thing also, as you're trying to troubleshoot, is you can pull these off and you can check the wire. Where is it? There you go. In there where the two little wires are, if you put 12 volts to that and you hear it click, that can let you know whether or not it's working properly or not. And you can do that to both of these things. So just some tips in how to troubleshoot the system. All right, now let's get into installing this guy. I am in the back of the vehicle. There's a spare tire. I just wanted to come up and show you where this little solenoid part lives. So let me zoom in here a little bit. So that big part there is the vapor canister, and then this is the part that I'm going to replace. And I am looking at this from the passenger side. So on the Suburban, it's going to be just in front of the rear axle, tucked up in there. So to replace this part, I found the easiest way is to climb under the truck from this corner. So let's get in here and we'll show you what we're doing. So we're replacing this part, just a factory replacement. And what you're going to need is a small screwdriver. It's not too long and has as thin of a head as possible, because we're going to need it to pry up a little metal tab here in just a second. One thing I wanted to add was that many of the videos I'm seeing online they don't replace this part directly, so this is just a direct replacement part. People are using kits that will convert this into two pieces essentially, because one of the kind of the faulty design of this is the air gets sucked in here, and so the air from the dirt and the stuff that's underneath the car is getting sucked up into it. And so a lot of what I've seen are videos where people show you're replacing this with two different pieces. One piece that has the solenoid in it, and the air filter itself is a separate piece which then gets installed somewhere else. So in my case, I'm not going to do that. So I just wanted to show people that it is an option to just replace the factory part with the other factory part. I figured this factory part has lasted 168,000 miles. If it lasts another 168,000 miles, I'll be happy with it. So I'm not going to do a conversion into the better system. I'm just going to keep it simple and just directly replace this piece. So here are the things we're going to have to do. We're going to have to take off the clip that holds the wires on, and we're going to have to remove the hose, and then this part is held on to the frame using a little metal piece that slides into here. We'll need to bend back a little part of that metal. So just kind of want to give you an idea before I show you up and show you the old part and how it's actually all mounted. So here you can see the connector that I've removed. So all you need to do is bend back this red part, and it should just slide right down. And the hose. Hose is a little trickier. So what you want to do is, while it's on, push the whole thing this way, and then that will allow you to squeeze and kind of unlock it so the whole thing can slide out. So I found the key was to push on this like you're trying to push it on, push it that direction a little bit, and then squeeze, and that will allow, I don't know if you can see it, there's little tad things in here, but when you squeeze it, it allows it to open up so you can slide it off. But I found pushing it that way was the key. And then the final part is to get the whole thing off. So these are all the things connected to it. So now we just got to get it off to this metal bracket. So let me move around here. I'm going to slide down to another position so you can see it a little better. Here we go. So there is, I'll get it to focus here. There we go. So right here, there's this metal tab in the middle. So this is what we need our short screwdriver for. And we just bend this little metal piece from this end, pry it open just a little bit to loosen it up so this can slide off. So what I'm going to try, I've actually got this little, I forget what they call them, like a nubby screwdriver, nice and short, and I put a really small, fine tip on it. So we're just going to use that to pry this up and slide it off. Alright, so I just pried up this little metal piece, holding with the screwdriver, and then allowed it to just slide right off. So now the part is completely free, and we can put on the new one and reverse the process we just went through. Thanks for watching. I hope you found that helpful. Here you just get your new one out, reverse the process, and you'll be good to go. Alright, thanks everybody.